Welcome to Beyond the Game, the podcast where faith meets the field. Here we go deeper than stats, scores and highlight reels to explore the heart behind the puzzle.
Whether you're an athlete, a coach, a fan, this is your place to grow in purpose, passion and perseverance through Christ.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Joe.
And every week we'll hear real stories, timeless truths and powerful conversations that remind us that our identity isn't defined by the game we play, but by the God we serve.
So lace up, lean in and let's go beyond the game.
Yeah, so we are here again today with Eli. Nice to meet you, Eli.
And yourself, mate.
Thank you for coming on. You alright?
Yeah, hello.
Cool.
Great to be on.
Yeah, so I always start with a few icebreakers just to make it really chill, casual. So what would you say was your most memorable? Actually, no. We'll straight it back. Start with who you are. What did you do? What was your background? That's probably the best place to start.
Yeah. Name's Eli Walker, local lad of Swansea. Played grassroots rugby in Gwasainon, but always been into sport since a kid. Into everything really.
Nice.
But sort of had to make the decision around young teenage, so around 13, that rugby was probably the avenue that I was going to go down.
Nice.
Yeah.
That takes us on to our first icebreaker. So if you weren't an athlete, what would you have done?
Yeah, it's a tough one, mate, because as athletes, I'm guessing you understand with athletes, it's not a profession that you just fall into. And at a very young age, I sort of knew there was a calling that I was going to be an athlete. So it's quite a hard question to think what would I do, but probably what I'm doing now, if I'm being honest, coaching. So I'm a strength and conditioning coach now for Swansea and Wales Tennis. So still being in the sort of sporting environment. Coaching potentially.
Nice. So you mentioned you were a rugby player. What would you say was your most memorable match?
Oh man. Growing up or senior? What sort of level?
Same playing?
Yeah, probably professional player.
Professional.
What would you say is most memorable?
I'd probably say playing for my country, playing for Wales, in the Principality. It's a dream for sure, a dream come true. Full crowd playing against Ireland. So that's definitely best for me.
That's class, yeah, definitely.
And then taking it back to pre-match. So did you have any rituals, any pre-match meals?
Not so much pre-match meals. So we eat as a squad. So if we're playing away, we'd be in a hotel and chef would prepare. So it'd be a spread of, I don't know, what would be the regular spag bol and whatnot. So, but there wasn't sort of a ritual that I had to eat certain things. It was more whatever was around, for to be honest. And I was part of the skinny club, so I could eat whatever I wanted, which was quite nice. So I had the license to just eat everything and anything. So yeah.
Nice, no restrictions.
Yeah, exactly.
So how would you describe your mindset and your lifestyle while you were playing?
Quite different to now, to be honest. So mindset was very, I'll be honest, very rigid. It was very performance-based, definitely a performance mindset. I hated losing in anything.
Yeah.
So I found it quite hard to sort of switch that off as well. Very driven, very, very disciplined, and lifestyle, I guess, would correlate to a certain extent, but again, on reflection on that now, probably chasing the wrong things in terms of lifestyle, which isn't great when you think about it and reflect. But a little bit of a contrast, but yes, probably sums it up best.
So it kind of leads on to our next question. So a lot of athletes, maybe non-Christians, talk about identity being tied to performance. So was that kind of what you had?
Tied to performance in terms of outcome, or do you mean the sport being your...
Almost a bit of both. Did you just find yourself even I'm assuming you probably play table tennis and stuff while on camp and stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess was it just tied to winning competitive mentality, or sort of within your sport as well?
Yeah, I guess two separate questions, mate. So definitely the identity was definitely tied in my sport. So again, playing the sport at such a young age, you do build sort of a that around you. And going to Wales is it's a goldfish bowl, isn't it? Like everyone knows everyone. So going to, I don't know, like Asda shopping or something after a game, or the week of a game, or whatever it is, you don't personally know people, but people, I guess, follow the sport. So every conversation would, outside of my like immediate family or close friendship group, it would be based on that. So they'd approach and they'd be like, "Oh, how's the game?" or "You did well," or whatever. So every interaction with people was based around the sport. So like you couldn't really get away from it. So
did you ever have someone like criticize you in person?
Oh, mate, all the time. So yeah, that's why. Like sometimes you'd go to town or whatever after a match, more to just sort of for your head, if anything, just sort of decompress a little bit. But I mean, if you had a bad game, they're gonna tell you straight away. Do you know what I mean? Like people out would slate you. Social media's crap, so you don't wanna. But after games, you would go on. I was on whether it's Insta or whatever it was back then, Facebook. Yeah, you put your name in and then just everyone, it's free for all, isn't it? So I tried not to, but like it is quite hard to get away from that. So yeah, the people would slate all the time.
That's mad.
But it's just part of the...
Yeah, I can imagine doing that, just like going up to someone in person and saying like, "Oh, you're awful on the weekend."
Yeah,
it's
man.
mad.
It's in your mates, but not already like...
Yeah, like everyone's got their opinion. And also, like I said, I'm 33 now, so I was, early, like late teens, early 20s, and it's quite hard to like wrap your head around.
Yeah.
Like, as in like not to take it like personally. Do you know what I mean? Like, "Oh, you are crap." I'm like, "I'm not that bad." Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I was right last week. Like, the same people would have said like, "Oh, great try," or something, a week or 2 weeks before, and then like all of a sudden, it's a bit of a trip. But again, it is. I can reflect now, and being a little bit older, it just is what it is, and also it doesn't help that people have got a few drinks down them, courage and whatnot. So
how do you think you would have responded differently? Would you have maybe even gone on social media if you were, let's say, a Christian at that point? And also, would you have gone out to almost use that as a release, or would you have maybe read the Bible or like after a game?
Yeah, no, mate, good question, really good question, because I think of that quite a lot, and I think like what would my life been like, if I had Jesus in my life then, and I know that it'd be drastically different, but also you got to tie that with his timing's divine, and it wasn't time to have had a relationship with him then. But no, you're right, wouldn't have gone out not hardly ever, but I wouldn't have gone out as much as I did. There was definitely that moral pull, even as a non-Christian. I didn't know what it was then, but I used to think, everyone else is going out, so like I can go out. But there was always like a tug, like probably shouldn't be doing it, but I just looked at everyone else and was like, yeah, they're doing it, so it must be absolutely fine. But I guess you're left with that again on reflection, then, isn't it? Like how that balance is quite difficult. But yeah, I for sure think that it would have been different. I wouldn't have gone, out as much. There's here we go, no botch names. There's, who's that? NFL player. He's very strong in his faith.
What you like to
Tim? Is it Tim?
I couldn't tell you the names about American football, to be honest.
He was on George, Georgienko.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on his podcast not long ago.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he threw a certain amount of yards and it correlated with...
I have seen that actually, yeah.
Do you know the guy I'm talking about?
I don't know who you're on about. I've seen it on social media. He's like, yeah.
You know the one I'm on about.
I know who you're on about,
like,
yeah.
I was just going to reach my phone then and be like, I'll get him up. But I was listening to him, a little clip on Insta the other day, and he said something profound. It was, and I just wish, and it sort of comes back to the question that you asked as well about balancing life as a believer and not. And because I was so rigid in performance before, and like I said, I couldn't switch. I really struggled to sort of switch off. Even when it was, out the season, I was always thinking, I got to win the fitness test. I got to win the speed. I got to be the best that I can be. And you got this book you were saying you have a book as an athlete. You have a book for your sport, so like plays, running plays, defensive reads and whatnot. But you don't have a book for like life. And he was saying, as a Christian, like you've got your book for your sport, but as soon as the sport's done, you've got the Bible to like live by. And that's just such a profound way of thinking about it, because I didn't have that. That's exactly what I didn't have. When I came out of the changing room or go back home, my head was always still on forming, whereas it should have been more on living with others and doing life with others, and that's not something I did, and it's something I take very serious now, and my life is heaps better for that. So
we can relate that to us a little bit in terms of we got our uni work. All the words like in terms of sports performance that we need to learn about, and then as soon as you get home, can you then shift that focus to scripture and I think especially because I'm from a non-Christian background, so wasn't Christian like yourself for the whole life. You just kind of don't think about that until you have Jesus in your life.
Yeah, man.
We must get that NFL guy as well.
Yeah. Fly to America or something.
Plug it now, mate. Go for it.
Yeah. So like, I guess sort of going back to your playing career, or almost like after it, how was the transition going? Like, how did you find Jesus? Like, what's your testimony?
How did it? Quite mad. So I've got a little one. She's 9 years old. Like co-parent, so I have her for a week, and then I don't have her for a week. Met her mum in school together, like 15, together for like 10 years. As my career my life literally went like this when I retired. But it's about 2 or 3 years after retiring. Again, he's the ultimate redeemer, isn't he, man? So my little one's mum married a Christian lad, and I was completely away from faith. I didn't believe it at all. Quite harsh about it, if I'm being completely honest. She married a Christian lad, and my daughter would come home to me because she'd go to like a Friday like church,
like a youth group sort of
like
thing,
a little like a kids youth thing, and everything you learn in, I guess, RE and stuff in school. She'd come home and start like praising Jesus to me, and I was like, honestly, mate, I was shook. I was a bit like, and I pride myself on the communication I have with my daughter, and it was the first time like in her life where I struggled. I was a bit like, how do I tell? She was, I think, 5 or 6 at the time. I was like, how do I tell a 6-year-old that like I don't believe this, and I'm about spirituality, but how do I break that down to a 6-year-old? And it became pretty prominent to me that I had to get out my own way. So I made a promise. And it's mad seeing his hand everywhere now. So around that time, there was a friend of mine that I haven't seen for like 10 years. And I bumped into her in town, and she mentioned, because I knew she was a Christian back then as well, and she mentioned, I asked her, how's your faith? And she was like, it's a great church. You love my pastor, Josh. He's our age. And I was like, okay, whatever. My sister was popping to church, and we'd have Sunday dinner down my mum's, and she'd be mentioning Jesus. And I was like, And then my daughter, she was like the final. She was praising him. And I was like, right, I got to get out my own way. Promised her. I was like, look, let's explore it. I'll explore it with you. Let's go to a church. My friend invited me to one. So I was like, okay, we'll start with this one. And I was like, we can explore. We can go to different churches, see what it's like. Bro, I was there. The first one, I was like, okay, this was nothing like I thought it was going to be. I think I was there for 3 weeks, and it just smacked me. I was humbled, and I was like, okay, this is it. Within three weeks, this is the truth. And I hadn't looked back since. Yeah.
Did you go without your daughter then? So
I went without my daughter for the first time. And then she came second, and I generally, out of 3 years, we've probably potentially missed like 2 or 3
Oh, wow.
weekends wax. Yeah, it's
incredible.
yeah, mate, it is absolutely incredible.
I guess that's similar to like our mate Toby. Like you can, like, while looking back, you can see Jesus' hand over him. So he was a rugby player, and he got like an offer to go play in Australia, and then he got injured, and then they like took the contract away. So then it sort of forced him to come to uni, and then he's been like stuck in with the CU, and now he's found Jesus as well. So it's kind of mad, like how looking back.
I think a lot of planting the seed, it usually comes down. So you might be from your parents or something, but it's come the other way this time. Like,
Mate,
daughter kind of plant.
honestly, like he knows exactly what he's doing, because there's no one person other than her that would have been able to get me to step foot in church. There's no one that could have convinced me. She is like my pride, joy. She is like literally my everything. And if it wasn't for her, there's no way. There's no way that I wouldn't have even thought about it. So he uses people, right? Like, and he knew that it's her to get me to, and that's what I mean by like ultimate redeemer. Like the relationship I have with her mum and her partner. Like we're all Christians, and it's incredible. People ask me quite a lot, like, oh, what's it like, co-parenting and stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's all good. Sorry, lads.
No, all good.
Yeah, it's like co-parenting, and it's like, yeah, it's all good. We're raising this amazing child all together, and that's exactly what it's about. But yeah, he is ultimate redeemer for sure.
I mean, I'm
It's amazing.
A bit similar like my family, with my brother, so like I can kind of relate to having that in the family and trying to be at the forefront of that and have that camaraderie together because of Jesus, and put Jesus in the centre of the room.
Yeah.
So what is your background? Is your family Christian?
No. So just me and my sister. We got saved the same day. So we.
Oh wow.
Do you know at the end of like a congregation, like put your hand up. Even that in itself, the day that it was called, I didn't think it was going to, and then my hand the Holy Spirit must have been just like lifted it up, and I was like, and then looked across, and my sister was at the same time, and I was like, whoa. And then that would have been March. So 3 months later, there was baptisms, and we got baptized the same day.
No way.
But it's a little bit tricky because my mum's not a believer at all, and we go there for Sunday lunch every Sunday, and she's very like, don't bring it here, and it's hard.
My dad.
Yeah, it's really hard, and it's a continuous prayer that we have like daily for her, to be saved. My sister's doing a theology degree. My mum's help. She's we're both dyslexic and struggle sort of getting our ideas down and stuff quite a lot. And yeah, so my mum's helping her with that as well. So my mum's reading scripture as much as she hates it, but again, he's got a way of working it, and
yeah, definitely.
I have no doubt that it'll come to fruition and she will be saved for one day.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What's the next question? So you struggled with injury for a lot of time. And also you had to retire due to injuries as well. How did you sort of deal with that at the time?
Yeah, I was sort of riddled with injuries. I think that's one of the main reasons what I'm doing now, sort of to help the next gen come through, not make the mistakes I did. But I think it's in that question. How did you dealt with them? That was it. There was no sort of fixing the issue. You didn't really have time to. Yeah. So say you're out with, what was one of the first ones I had? Like shoulder reconstruction. I was, 13, 14 weeks was one of the major ones I had when I was coming through. And you literally just have to deal with it. There's no process of digging into it and whatnot. It's literally, you think, when's the earliest I can get back on the pitch? Yeah. You do your rehab, you turn up every day, and it's just like that. Yeah, trying to stay sort of present. But it was definitely was just dealing. There was no process involved, other than getting super frustrated a lot of the time. And
was it the same injury repeatedly?
No, so shoulder reconstruction. I retired with a discectomy, so lower back disc injury. Yeah, so retired with that. but I've had knee, ankle, teeth, like, wrist. There's loads. Rugby's a mad sport, but there wasn't really a process, I'd say, other than just turn up and crack on with it. There was no.
How did you find? So did you find it unfair though, like the amount of injuries? I think some people just, I don't know, like they get a bit unlucky, and you may have had a lot of injuries. Or were you quite grateful for the career you had? Obviously, retiring quite young. I presume you might still be playing.
Yeah, man, could be. Yeah.
So what's kind of your outview as you got onto the later part of your career? Were you kind of just happy to play for Wales?
Yeah, I mean, again, really, really good question, because I've reflected heavy on this, and it came becoming a Christian sort of really shed light on this. I have absolute no doubt that my injuries, as much as they can be rationalised, I did my lower back when I was like squatting, or I did my shoulder in a bad tackle or whatnot. You can rationalise the cause, but I have zero doubt now as a believer that this is very like spiritual, and I'll take your thoughts on this one as well. So I was dabbling on that morality at the start, right? So when I was coming through, I always thought, go out, do this, do that, but there was always that like tug. I personally think the injuries, the setbacks, the short career was a direct correlation with how I was morally. So like I was gifted my athletic ability. Yeah. I had dreams, I had aspirations. He even, as a non-believer, like he was even granting me all these things. But this is what I personally believe. I personally believe that I veered off so far from what my core morality was. He was like, you're doing my head in. Like he was like, how many chances are there to give you? I was just doing like silly things. Like again, like things that you can justify potentially in the positions I am. Young. There's nothing wrong with spending your money here or doing this and that. But like I knew that it wasn't right majority of the time, and I honestly think I drifted so far off. And he was like, okay,
come back here.
Yeah, your gift's gone. I had to sit with it. Wasn't great when dealing with it, but again, full ultimate redeemer. Like I am now in a position that I'd way prefer to be this place without it than there with it. So I honestly think that it was down to my sin and lack of it's a mad concept, but that's what I truly believe.
I guess during that time, did you ever sort of think like, why me? Like, why do I have to be the one that has to deal with all these injuries? Do you know what I mean? Because I know because I know for a lot of non-Christians, when stuff goes wrong, it's sort of like, well, if God loves me, why would he let me go through that? Was that ever sort of like your mindset, I guess?
I guess, again, thinking back as a non-believer, I would have been frustrated. I would have been, I would have just thought that it's written in papers and stuff, like, oh, Eli's unlucky again. I would have just thought, I'm just unlucky. And also, being the type of athlete that I am, rugby, there's so many different types of athletes in it. I see football's the same. Because I was a very fast twitch, explosive, like power athlete, there's a real tension on like being high performance and then all of a sudden you're going to pull something like stiffness. Again, coaching S&C hat on now, like stiffness of tendons and joints produce force and speed, and that was my bag. So like I trained to get that, but also you're tearing on the like it's going to break. So I always just thought, I'm this way inclined and I'm more susceptible to injury. And again, that is rational. Like you can rationalize that, but I think it just went too far one way, and left with career ending at the end of the day. But
so you think you're almost, so God almost like, oh, I'm gonna give you all these injuries because this is the path you've chosen to go down. So then do you think he was like, oh, he's reached a certain point now where he's faced enough, I'm going to come and redeem him. Like, do you ever think about, oh, actually, okay, so maybe he punished me, and it took me to realise I was being punished, to then, okay, I'm going to now free him, he can kind of come and find me, he's going to have me in his life. Like, I don't know, do you ever think about that?
Yeah, so again, I was speaking about this like off air, and I guess I'll segue into it now, but I retired as a professional athlete. My club was Ospreys, got saved a couple of years after retirement, and now I'm, back at my club as a chaplain. So I do think a lot like, okay, maybe this was the actual plan. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm going back to my club, sharing what wasn't there when I was there. There was no, I can't remember there being a chaplain there.
I guess for like the players there now as well, it probably means, I don't know whether it means more, but like they can see the impact of you were there. You were a player, you were in their shoes. Like, do you think they could probably relate to you more now you're back there as a chaplain?
This is what I mean. Potentially, the way that I think of it is, and I don't know how you feel being again new to faith, but 3 years in myself, and sometimes I don't know why we feel like this, but you sort of feel like a little bit unqualified sometimes, right? Like you read the scripture, it's like, I don't know as much as that person or not, right? But he's put me in this place, and when I got asked to do chaplaincy, I was like, I don't know enough. But like you're saying, it probably looks unorthodox. My chaplaincy journey probably looks unorthodox to other chaplains out there, older people, more life experience, and they can impart wisdom in certain ways. Like you just said, I guess I've got a bit more of a practical element. I have been there, I've done it. I'm not just there to preach the good news. I am there to relate to the lads as well, right? So like the silly decisions that I made, I want boys to, and not just the boys, married and whatnot as well, but I want them to know that I'm here for like anything. Like there's boys that are potentially have bad injuries, like they can come to me, like I can impart wisdom there. If they've got kids, if they've got, I don't know, trouble with girls or something, do you know, whatever it is, like I'm not just there for, one thing, like I'm there to help. And I think being there maybe as a younger person is more relatable, like you're saying. So to come full circle to answer your question, I do think this is probably his plan. Like he's gifted me my ability. He'd give me my dream to be a professional, play for my country and whatnot, and now I'm probably exactly where he wants me to be, to spread the good news into that.
It's funny 'cause I was really talking yesterday at CU about how like we can feel unqualified when we do evangelism on campus. We do like first contact, where we will like actively talk to non-Christians and sort of like gauge where they're at and try to encourage them to come to CEU. So like I was talking about how like we don't have to know all the answers. Like you can just let God talk. Sorry, you can let God talk through you, and like you just need to be like a signpost.
Absolutely, mate.
Like you don't need to know all the answers to talk to someone. Like you just need to.
So I could have said, you just allow God to speak through you, but then because I don't feel I'm a bit unqualified, I'd be like, so where's that description? I don't know. Like, have you related to what Eli said about feeling like God punishes you if you're not? Because you're from a Christian background, aren't you?
Yeah, so I grew up within it. So I don't know, I always seen, like, my parents were big influences. So, like, it was never a case of why me, because whenever I'd have, like, troubles, wherever I'd have doubts, I could always go to my parents or go to my pastor. And, like, when I was growing up, I had a guy from my church who would do Bible studies with me, like, every week. So it was never a case of feeling, like, alone in it. Where like if I had doubts, I could be like, I had someone to go ask the questions to, I guess. Whereas for you guys, it would have been very different.
Yeah, for me, I think because I came out of a relationship, in fact, and I was a bit like, I don't know, like what I'm just doing all these like going out every night. But I think I did have that with you a little bit.
Yeah.
That I was still very open with how I was feeling, and like I'd have a lot of questions. I wouldn't, even if I didn't read the Bible, I'd be like, so what can you tell me about your faith? And I think you stood up for me in that.
Yeah, that's good.
What? Okay, so I think This should be a nice one.
Go on.
Do you want me to ask?
Yeah.
So was there anyone, okay, we might have answered this, I was about to say, was there anyone who influenced your faith, but it might have been your daughter? So how do you look back on the highs and the lows of your athletic career? Talk us through some of your really good bits then. We talked about injuries, but yeah, like...
Yeah, I guess just the opportunity to do what I wanted to do at such a young age. There's, like, people say a lot of the time, like, even when you finish university and things, like, oh, what am I meant to do? We don't know until later on in life. I think I was, and I guess this was part of my testimony as well. I was around Blake's age. I was playing in Grosainon, training, and I had this, like, literal divine feeling of, I was holding the ball and I was like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do. And like, it's really hard to articulate that as a child. Like, you know, teachers are like, oh, so what are you gonna do? I'm like, oh, I'm doing this. And they're like, oh yeah, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, I was like, this is it. How do I explain it? Everything's come to fruition now. But so I think, the high is being so young, having this, like, set on your heart, and then being able to go out, pursue and do that. I think that's so special thinking about it, looking back. And now transitioning into, there was mistakes made on the way, and now I'm coaching young athletes coming through, and, you know, hopefully I can be a part of their journey and potentially prevent bad injuries that happen to them coming through as well. Because I've got a few mentors of mine with my ex strength and conditioning coaches, and I'll catch up with them for a coffee and we'll share, you know, ideas and whatnot. That's why I love strength and conditioning in general. Like, you just bounce ideas off with other practitioners and things. I love that. And they're really open, and I ask them, like, oh, what would you do different? And they'd say to me all the time, like, I would have let you just be yourself a lot more. So, like, I came in, I said it was a skinny club, right? So when I came in, I was, 6 foot, slight. And as I came through, they were like, okay, if he's that height, he can be philosophy of Welsh rugby now, like, close to 100K, want to pile your weight on and whatnot. And that wasn't me. The reason I got there was because I was like this sharp, agile, nippy kid. So I want to see athletes, and that's why I'm working in youth and stuff now. Like, I want to see them for what they are, and not try and change the end product. I want to mold them to be able to move efficiently, and capitalize on what they actually have, rather than trying to change it to fit a mold of, this is what professional looks like. So you got to hit that criteria, or it's not express yourself. So I think the transition of my career has led quite nicely to be doing what I'm doing.
You see that in football as well. Like, I guess less physically, but more like technically. Like, they're always taught, like, you have to pass a certain amount of times. Like, people are losing how do you phrase it?
Like freedom on the pitch.
Yeah, like they're just very restricted in what they do.
Wingers have to do a certain thing. They can't, like, take on their fullback anymore. Like, definitely. I think actually that's why some footballers are going getting their own individual coach. Like, individual analyst, I
think that's happening in all sports. Like, there's this like model professional that everyone has to be like.
Yeah. It should be very bespoke. Like, that's what something we'll learn in technique analysis. So obviously you're helping these individuals. So would you ever mention, like, Christianity to them? Like, for example, we had Linvoil, who was Christian, and he was Christian during his career. So he had opportunities to talk about Jesus in the change rooms. So do you, as your role now at Ospreys and as a coach, do you still have those opportunities?
Yeah, it's quite strange, because as a chaplain, I mean, going through training and things, it's very much, you're not allowed to approach, and you've got to be there and then let them come to you, and then if the door's open, then you can share. Again, I don't know if I'm going to get told up, but if I see an opportunity there, I'm not going to not say it. So with the athletes and stuff that I have now, the coaches, this is what I mean, I'm not just there for the athletes, I'm there for the wider audience as well. I mean, if I if I sniff it, I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna share it. The amount of times that I'm sharing, even with my business partner now, I'll drop him a line if I feel a tug from spirit or something, like tell him about when services are. I'll tell the athletes, like if they're going through a little bit of, and this is sport 101, I guess, isn't it? A bit of like performance anxiety or something. I was very much, it was always self-derived, right? Like you got to outwork this to be able to get to the other side. Like blinging it. If you had Jesus and he could just be Prince of Peace, like if you had him, this is what I mean. Yeah, like if I had that when I was playing, I'm obvious. And why would I hold that from these athletes? So yeah, for sure. Like if I see them struggling a little bit, I won't outrightly say, "Oh, have this and it'll fix this," but I'll mention, "Have you thought of like church? It's a pretty chill vibe, and it's quite strange how the positive response you have from people as well."
Is there like a specific conversation that comes to mind where like, you've really seen like a change almost in them?
So it's strange how a lot of people say yes, and then it does take a while for them.
Yeah,
to,
well, that happened with you as well, didn't it?
Happy there.
Really.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's quite a few have said yes, and we're just waiting for them to come through the door now, and that's I guess comes back on us then not to be overly where we are there to just spread. We're not the ones to convert or anything. So as long as that seed is planted, then that's what we've done. But if I do have that nudge at any particular time, I have I'm not shy to say it.
I was very similar with you because like I was very cautious of like not pushing like I guess Christianity on you. Like I would almost wait for you to ask questions unless, as you said, felt like a nudge to mention something specific.
It's like what we were saying last night as well. It's like sometimes if you're talking to someone, maybe you haven't got that relationship with them already. They might feel like you're just talking to them about Christianity and nothing else. But I think you were lucky with me that we already had a friendship. Yeah. That I know it wasn't just about that. Like we were already mates. No matter how the conversation went, and I suppose you have that with the rugby players, the coaches, that you already have that trust with them. That it's not going to really influence your relationship with them. Yeah, like it doesn't feel like you're taking advantage of them in a way. Yeah. Yeah. Got a question? Yeah. Let's have a look. So I guess you're in chaplaincy now, and you do like your strength and conditioning. So you sort of mentioned it as if you had Jesus. So I guess the question is like, what would you say to athletes who feel like a sense of emptiness? So you mentioned it with like performance anxiety, but I've seen like on social media and stuff, a lot more athletes nowadays are talking about how like winning doesn't fulfill them. So I can't remember where I've seen it. It might have been Federer, actually. I can't remember who specific it was. And he said like, whenever he won like a major tournament, it wouldn't fulfill him. Like he just sort of felt like, oh, now that's done. Like what's sort of next? Yeah. How would you sort of like deal with that if like within your chaplaincy role? Yeah, no, again, have you heard the questions sort of ringing true? Have you James Clear, Atomic Habits? I recognise Atomic Habit. So they recognise it. Yeah, so when I talk about spiritual journey, I was well into like self-help books and that, and Atomic Habits is a great book. There's so much wisdom in that, and he touches on that as well. So I was very goal focused before, as in like I want to do this, and then it's like a bit of a check mark. But no, you're absolutely right. If you're disciplined enough and fortunate to like achieve it, you literally do it, and then you are left in like, what now? Yeah. When it's done. Yeah. So it's not good, and I remind my athletes of this quite a lot, especially in tennis, because tennis is so many ups and downs within the sport, point to point, game to game, match to match. It should be like present focused rather than achieve it, and then also you're going to lose just as many points as you are going to win as well. And they play ridiculous amounts of like they compete a ridiculous amounts throughout the months in tournaments and whatnot. So inevitably you cannot win
all the time in tennis. It's silly, and then they hang their hat on rather that performance outlooks. But yeah, coming back to what the book says, it's not good to have that sort of like goal mentality. It should be present. What can you do like in the now? And as much as my SSC, I'm there as a strength and conditioning, a lot of my role is sort of strategic based, as in like tapping into what my what my old profession was, tactics on how to hold yourself as a professional and pour that into the players. So yeah, definitely sort of try and nudge being present is really important, and it's hard for non-Christian because there isn't any other Christians in the tennis space, but it's funny the correlation between being present and then being a Christian and leaning on him rather than outcome focus. It's very hand in hand, isn't it? That's why I love scripture. When I came into Christianity with a high performance background, I started picking scripture up, and I'd always hang my hat on being disciplined, focused. Accountability was like huge. Pick scripture up, start reading it. I'm like, oh my days, it's like mirror for mirror. Like a lot of it is and I think that's how I've run into Christianity, as in like gelled with it so well, is because there's so many similarities between high performance and Christianity.
I always think it goes the other way. Like, I think if you do get too high when you win, I don't think you get as low. Like I find now, I'm a lot more, not just sport related, but anything. You're a bit more balanced. So if you do suffer a setback, it's all part of the journey. Like you're just thinking, okay, fine, deal with it, put it away now. Maybe you have to confront the issue, or you hand it over to God. But you just I feel like you can live a bit more. You're not kind of transitioning from
So versatile,
Obviously, you can praise God when you do win, and it's not. Yeah, you can obviously. But I don't know. It's an interesting point.
Yeah, I think that comes from the piece you mentioned earlier. Like it's not like you mentioned you're very goal focused. Like I guess when you know that there's more important stuff than that. I guess the lows aren't as low. Yeah.
But I'm not sure how that relates, because I haven't suffered injuries like you. So it's like I think everyone's perception of like losing is different and winning.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, cool. Just to finish off. So what advice would you give to, I guess, a younger Eli, or what advice would you give now?
Believe, man, blink an heck, like listen, and I like I'm saying, I know we've talked about it's his timing is divine, but if I'm being just cutthroat honest, I just wish that I could have had some understanding of Christianity earlier on. Like I can't it would have been a completely different journey. So the people that are around that stage and stuff now, like I got to drive home, just be open. And even if I feel like I'm going to be sharing this in the next time that I'm going to speak publicly in Ospreys, I want to, as a high performer, you look for these like 2%ers, right? So whether that's like nutrition, sleep, recovery, like you and your opposition, you're both at that pinnacle of your ability, and you're looking for these like 1 or 2%, right? Even if you have to look at Christianity like, just try it, even on an outcome basis. Just even like, could it improve my performance? Just step in that way, and then he's gonna humble you in a few weeks, like he did with myself. Anyway, so like even just be open, dabble with it, stick your toe in. And see what it can do. That would be my advice for sure.
Amazing, cool.
Did you want to ask about what hope would you offer someone if it was too late to turn to God? Do you think like you just said you'd rather do it earlier? But what's your opinion like people finding God later and like at your age and I don't know, like what's your kind of, what can they hold on to?
In terms of what? Sorry, as in
just like finding Christ. So like. Do you think if you've got friends who retire from rugby, what can you say to them that it's like just because you've retired doesn't mean you can't still find Christ, or you can still search for it even more now? Like, what can you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, life, it comes in like seasons, doesn't it? So like, it doesn't really matter whether you're younger, older, or whatnot. Like, it's stages of life, and you're always going to be presented with different things, different challenges, which is good. This is life, right? So yeah, there's no, I guess, right time, and there's no wrong time, and there's no time out. This he can help in any facet of anyone's life. And like I mentioned about my mum, you know, she's going to be 60 next year. She could, I know he's going to work on her, and it's not too late. Like the you know, next 30 years of her life could be the best years that she's ever had. There's no there's no.
It also comes when you least expect it, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just remembering that God's timing is always perfect timing.
It is, mate. It is.
Cool. Well, thank you for your time.
Mate,
Thank you
no
for your time
worries
today.
at all.
Been amazing. Cool.
Appreciate the questions.
Thank you for tuning in to Beyond the Game.
If today's episode encouraged you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend, drop a like and a follow, and help us spread the message of faith beyond the field.
You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram and TikTok. Our username is BTG in Faith in Sport.
Stay strong, stay faithful, and remember your purpose goes beyond the game. See you next time.
Bye.